Scout Troopers, also known as Biker Scouts, were specially trained soldiers of the Imperial Stormtrooper Corps, as light armoured variants of the Imperial Stormtroopers. Scout Troopers were specially trained for activities too complicated for regular Stormtroopers. Hello and welcome to Centurion's Corner, and today we are reviewing from Return of the Jedi, the Biker Scout. And as you may saw the other day, I actually received this as a gift from Papa Gord, so please show your support. His description is down below where you can go and follow him and his YouTube channel. So yeah, this guy has come in a few kind of different packages. We found him in the original release with his bike and him, which is kind of like in the blue packaging way back when, and also last year where I missed out, where I actually bought the Bandai version, and this guy come in the archive. So with this one, we're just going to go through his review and see how he holds out and do a comparison. So let's get on with it. So here he is, looking pretty cool and dapper, and he actually just looks what he's supposed to look like. Now this guy comes with one accessory, and it's the only accessory that he really needs to come with, and this is his tiny Biker Scout pistol. We've got all the details on there, we've got the rivets, we've got the grip, we've got that little trigger and the scope as well, and just on the other side as well. Now this fits into his holster, but not in a great way. It doesn't clip in or anything like that, so you're more than likely, if you hold it in there, it's going to fall out quite often. Now you can actually hold it in his right hand. He's got a slight kind of hole there between his two fingers, and it just slides just nicely in there, just over that, and just sort of loops over. But the good thing about him as well is that he can actually hold it in his offhand as well, so he can get some cool poses on a bike, and he's not sort of kind of hindered in which hand he holds on to the actual bike handles. So looking over in general, his actual articulation is pretty cool for an older figure. So we've got a left, we've got a right, we can look down, you can look up, and we've got a bit of a swagger on there. Arm rotation all the way around, and also comes up quite far, which is compared to the Scout Trooper we got from Fallen Order, because he had that big harness on there. We've got a rotation here at the upper arm. We've got a nice double elbow bend as well. We've got a rotation at the wrist, and it's also on a hinge. Abs, we can just sort of turn around just below the breastbone there. Can't really go down too much because of these pouches, and slightly back as well. Leg wise, can come up this far and back, and then we've got a rotation here at the upper thigh. Legs come out this wide, which is good for bike riding. He's also got a double knot jointed knee, and the rocker and the pivot at the ankle. So his articulation is really good, which we did find out with the Scout Trooper as well, and it's really good for a older Black Series figure, definitely from the old sort of blue and orange lines from way back when. And yeah, with that though, he looks exactly what he should look like, which is the Biker Scout, and his details are actually pretty on point. So the helmet, we've got all those extra kind of lines, the vents and the dents all over there, with that nice sort of breather at the front. We've got the ear hole parts there, the logo on the one side, with the sort of like Imperial grey around. Slightly off print there from the actual circle itself, but nothing too bad. We've got that barcode part there, and the lines in the helmet on that point. The back, we've got the nice sort of black line around, extra rivets, the red line there as well on the back. And down on the arms, the belly, and down on the boots as well. So it's looking pretty epic, and I love all these extra webbing and details in that undersuit as well. It's not just a black undersuit, it's pretty cool. And the gloves as well, yeah, they look really cool. The weathering as well is done really subtle, and it's in the kind of a way that I do my weathering. So it's lighter at the top and dirtier at the bottom, because obviously blood or mud, whatever you want to step in, actually like goes upwards. It's not going to pour down. So it's pretty cool. It's got in these sort of grooves parts here and down on there, and his elbows as well along there. Unfortunately, there's no other kind of sort of weathering around on him, but nonetheless, it is on there. But the whole point of this review actually is that I want to do a comparison with the other two Biker Scouts that I have. So the first one that we do have is the Scout Trooper that come out from the Gaming Greats and from Jedi Fallen Order. So putting these guys together is actually physically the same mould. The only thing that's different is that he has this giant harness on here, and it's actually connected into the same places where these pouches are. Other little differences is that these silvers are on these clips here and slightly painted a different colour, and we've got black on here. We have no weathering or anything on this guy at all. He's a clean buddy. On here as well, we've got the black part, which is not painted on there at all. And going around to the back, obviously we've got that extra harness, but as you see, these parts here, one's black, one's silver. There is no paint applications here on the back at all. And when we go over to the top, it is all silver and one side's black with the red line. On the helmet, again, we just got this part here, which is all completely grey. When this one, we have the sort of lines and the barcode and the giant barcode on the back as well. And to the front, we have no logo or kind of the sort of visor sort of hinges as well are not painted either. We have got all the paint applications on the front, but again, we haven't got that one on the side. So yeah, he's kind of lacking, and I'll kind of look back at references to see if we can actually bring this guy a little bit more up to scratch with this guy. If he hasn't got this, then I'll just leave him alone. But also the belt underneath, you can tell on the sort of thermal detonator part there, are not painted either. So next up is the Bandai kit. Now I kind of compare these guys. I was kind of happy with this guy when I first got him once I put him all together, because he is like those R2-D2s that I build, that they are sort of like all on a tray and you've got to put them together. He was pretty cool at the time, but as you can see, the torso up here is very sort of square base. His arms, they can pop out, which is quite good. It looks like they got really good articulation and stuff, which would be a plus, but this guy being an older figure with great articulation as well kind of puts this guy down even more, I suppose. All these parts are all clipped in, so they do fall out quite often. And also with his hands, if you want him to hold a gun, you've got to put the other hand in there and take this gun out and clip it all together. So it's not very kind of great for posing all the time when you could just chuck the gun in this guy's hand. The only thing I would say that this guy's kind of got more on offer is, I mean, obviously all the paint applications are what I've put on there because they were white beforehand. But the only thing I would say, this guy looks a little bit better. I think his helmet just looks slightly a little bit better. It's got a more rounded kind of thing to the visor rather than sort of very sort of flat and square. So I kind of like this one a tiny little bit more than this one, but it's only very slightly. So I do think this actually is the pinnacle Biker Scout that you can get out there in a 6-inch form. And the good thing about this guy as well is that with my Bandai speeder bike, he can fit on there very nicely indeed. So we can just pop him up there and just get him on his bike and on his way. He does sort of like hold the handles. He's a little bit off on there. His hands are a little bit tight, so they do need to limber him up a little bit. And that's kind of it. So thank you so much for joining me on this one. I know it's a little quick review of this guy, but it's more of the comparison to show you the differences between the other Biker Scouts as well. And thank you again to Papa Gord, where his description, how to get hold of him, is in the description down below, funny enough. So thank you once again. You can follow me online by following my Instagram account, which is in the description, and also you can subscribe and like. So until next time, take care, and I'll see you soon. Bye.